but gosh, am I nervous today. And this chili is labeled fertility chili. Never have I ever seen a line on these. Is my slow cooker big enough? Time will tell.
But this could be the start of the rest of our lives.
2 nurses try to get the catheter. I am feeling very fertile today. I'm just growing a little more concerned. Am I going to not be able to do my 3rd IUI? They're gonna go get my doctor. Hello everybody, it is Dingle here and welcome back to my channel. I hope you all are doing super duper well. I think this vlog is the official IUI vlog if I'm not mistaken, but I am filming this part of it on Monday and my IUI is tomorrow on Tuesday, but I don't think you'll see that until Sunday's vlog. So good luck to me in the future, sending all the baby dust my way. But I wanted to film this for this vlog because it's kind of related and something I have not necessarily honed into so far, and that is eating certain foods or following certain recipes that are good for general reproductive women's health. I know at the beginning of this whole journey I did ask my doctor if there was any specific foods I should avoid versus have or whatever, and he was basically like, don't restrict yourself too much or else you'll be miserable and not pregnant. You might as well like have a good balance. But I figure while keeping with that good balance, I still have to eat, and there might be really yummy recipes out there that include ingredients that are known to be really good for reproductive health. So why not? I found this chili on Pinterest and it's perfect because today it was like 20 degrees when I woke up this morning and went to get to my monitoring appointment. And this chili is labeled fertility chili. And Jack, in turn, has labeled this for chili. I can't believe I'm procreating with this man. Let's get into it. So first, what we're gonna wanna do in a skillety pan is saute up a pound of ground turkey. We are doing 93% today for some little extra fats. Oh God, okay. Chill out. And then in with it, I'm going to do a whole yellow onion and half of a bell pepper. Oh no. And then in with the skillet mixture for spices, we've got a teaspoon of black pepper, a teaspoon of garlic powder, then a teaspoon of salt. And then as appetizing as that looks, you're gonna want it to just not be pink. We're gonna go ahead and take the contents and we're gonna put it into the slow cooker, which has been sprayed with cooking spray. I always forget that step, so make sure you don't. It's not the end of the world, but like, it makes for a messy cleanup. And then in here, we're gonna put 2 full chopped up sweet potatoes and 1 large golden beet. That's what it was. The beet is optional, but why not with the extra nutrients, you know? 1 can of chipotle peppers in adobo sauce. 1 28-ounce can of crushed tomatoes, the whole thing. 1 15-ounce can of black beans, and then 1 cup of uncooked quinoa. And this was expensive. I don't eat quinoa a lot versus rice, but I was under the impression that quinoa was very similar to rice. I don't know, but this was not as cheap as rice. I feel like a full cup is gonna go a long way. This stuff looks like it's going to expand quite nicely. Is my slow cooker big enough? Time will tell. And then 3.5 cups of chicken bone broth. Not chicken stock, chicken bone broth. 1, 2, 3.5. These peppers smell interesting, those chipotle peppers. And then for the rest of the spices, we've got 1 tablespoon of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of ground cumin, half a teaspoon of cinnamon, half a teaspoon of turmeric. Give it a good mixy mix. Cover up, and then we can do high for 3 to 4 hours or low for 6 to 8. And 4 hours will put us to 6 p.m. at this point. I am obsessed with recipes that have a high and a low option for the inevitable, oh crap, I didn't put the crock pot in this morning moment that we all universally experience. It does smell really good. The chipotle peppers were freaking me out initially. I just didn't love the smoky smell of them, but altogether it's smelling real nice. So I'll keep you updated on how it tastes. How did you like the chili? You really liked it?
I did, it was really good.
Good, guys.
Fertility.
Fertility. This is what the chili ends up looking like after all the quinoa expands and does its thing. It's so tasty, and it's such a great way to get in all of the nutrients, like the beets and the potatoes and the beans and all of that stuff. It's so yummy. My only personal issue with it was the spice level. I feel like this chili should come with a warning label on it because my stomach is still like burning with spice. It is very spicy and I couldn't completely finish my bowl because it was so spicy. Looking at the spices in it, it didn't make sense why it was so spicy, but I've never had those peppers before. I just thought they were maybe like chili peppers, and I've had those in everything before and it's totally fine. But those peppers were sus. Very sus. I think next time I would literally take like one of the peppers out of the can to put it in for flavor and some spice. But holy goodness, it was, Jack really liked it, but he has a much greater tolerance of spice than I do personally, so. We're in a silly, goofy mood right now.
Are you in a
We're in a silly, goofy mood because it's so strange, I think, knowing that like tomorrow we take like this massive step and we go through this like big procedure. It feels big to us to start our family. It's very bizarre. It's different than just like taking Clomid every night or, you know, something like that. It's just like weird, like tomorrow might be the day and we won't know for like 2 weeks. It feels different than just like trying on our own, you know?
It's like the difference in genetics class. You read about the Drosophila in your book, and then you go to the lab and you actually do it.
Yeah.
We're going to the lab and
we're going to the lab and we're actually like doing the thing. Oh my god. I think it's also, since it's my 3rd time getting an IUI, I'm definitely very nervous because I know how much pain it causes me, and I'd rather almost not know the amount of pain that it causes me because I'm gonna do it obviously either way, but to just like anticipate the amount of pain is just like harder, I think, than not anticipating it, you know?
Ignorance is bliss.
Yeah, exactly. Ignorance is bliss. Honestly, this pain is so much different than just experiencing pain and not knowing like why you're experiencing pain, or like the pain doesn't result in anything. The thing that gets me through this pain is knowing that, one, it's temporary. It's about 20 to 30 minutes maybe. Last time was a little bit longer than the first time I felt, but then it's over. And 2, it's all for a good cause. Like, it's all for us starting our family, or the potential of starting our family. So that's what gets me through the pain part of everything. The other thing I just wanted to pop on here and say, and I almost forgot, I literally just shut off the camera and put it back on again, is I'm going to be drinking pomegranate juice from here on out. Just a glass a day, or it says 250 milliliters or 1 cup of 100% pomegranate juice daily, because it's known to increase blood flow, which is great for ovulation and beyond when you're trying to conceive, because the blood flow to the uterus is really important to make a really safe and comfy house for our little embryo. Fingers crossed if it even gets to the embryo stage, you know? Yeah.
He's an embry-bro.
An embry-bro, no.
Embry-bro?
No.
What's up? Look at her.
What's up? Yeah! It's an embry-bro! I know! I'm so excited too! So I'm going to be drinking 250 milliliters or 1 cup of that from here on out, and I'm going to probably mix it with like sparkling water or something, you know, to make it kind of soda-ish without the soda. Yeah, it'd be really good.
Ooh, that'd be tasty.
I saw somebody else, one of my friends on Instagram, she mixes Sprite with it. That's something that I'll be doing as well this time. And eating a lot of pineapple. Apparently pineapple is a big universal thing to do, and I don't eat pineapple ever. So that's what I'm gonna be doing. Hi friends, it is the next day, the day of the procedure. I slept fine last night, but gosh, am I nervous today. But we're gonna get through it. It's 30 minutes of my life that I can definitely push through. We're about 10 minutes out from leaving, but I wanted to show you all something. I know you all think I'm crazy. I know you think I'm crazy, but when I tried to test out HCG from my trigger shot last time, I didn't get any line. I waited until like the week before testing, like I waited a week or so, and I never got to see any line, and I just wanted, this sounds so crazy, but if you've been trying to conceive or you're dealing with infertility, you know the feeling or like what I'm saying right now. But I've just never seen a definite, that is a line, meaning that I'm pregnant, or that is a line, meaning I have enough HCG in me for it to register on a test. Like I've never had that before. So last night you guys saw us take our trigger, and then this morning I wanted to freaking test. One, to make sure that we got the HCG like in there okay and everything, but two, just to like freaking see a line. Would you look at that, my friends? Never have I ever seen a line on these pregnancy tests, these at-home ones. That is wild to me. And then I wanted to check to see how my ovulation tests were progressing, because I woke up today and my right side is super duper, like there's stuff going on in there for sure. But look at that. My test line stole the dye from the control line. This is the control line that'll show up no matter what, and then you want this test line to be close to as dark as the control line. But my test line this morning stole the dye, which means I am feeling very fertile today. Any final thoughts, bub?
Let's go do it.
Before we go in for our third one?
Bub, this could be the start of the rest of our lives.
You said that back in November, and here we are today.
I say it every time.
I know, I love you.
Because it's true, it could always be
It could always be the start of the rest of our lives. We've been here for almost 40 minutes now, and usually it takes about 15. And I've had 2 nurses try to get the catheter into my cervix, and one was my nurse. So it was great to see her, and they can't get it.
We love a strong woman.
Why is this happening? I feel fine, because like my only concern is like once the catheter is inside, that's when the cramping starts. I feel a little crampy.
Okay.
I think it's just from them like poking at the cervix, but it's not like anything was like up in there. I'm just growing a little more concerned with this one.
Don't be concerned.
Okay. I'm so fertile today.
You are. It's gonna happen.
Okay.
Guaranteed.
They're saying that they're gonna go get my doctor to attempt, because he can use some tools to like keep the cervix in place. But right now I'm very concerned about the tools, because on TikTok I saw that there's a tool where they pinch the cervix to put an IUD in, and it's incredibly painful. So that is what I'm concerned that he is going to be doing.
Sure you don't want me to do it?
You should tell them that they asked Jack at the beginning if he wants to be the one to push the sample in, because at that point when everything's in place, like he could push it in, and he goes, yeah, that'd be fine. And they go, is that okay with you, June? And I say,
that's really funny.
I said that.
I thought it was just really cool that I could do that. I had no idea.
No, it is super cool that you can do that, but I was like, there is nothing against you. I want professionals to be doing all of it, because this is our 3rd shot.
I'm a professional. It's what I've been doing for the past 3 years.
Oh. We're doing something wrong, so I need the professionals to do it.
You're cute.
I've never had my doctor do a procedure on me before. It's always just been like office visits and follow-ups.
It's really funny. That's how we're always like, every time we drive by to the gym, we're always like, doctor, give us a baby. How cool would this be?
Yeah.
We're recording this moment for now, because
what if our doctor is the one that gives us a baby?
That'd be pretty cool.
I just don't want him to clamp my cervix.
I know.
I'm gonna ask if he's going to do that.
You need a bigger procedure, Praz.
Yeah. I'm glad you're back here. I would be devastated if I was just laying here by myself. So many women had to do that during the pandemic. Just like go back here and just be by ourselves. It would be so sad if I didn't have you right now.
I'm glad I'm back here too, Bobo.
Whenever I'm like laying back and they're poking around trying to get in there, I look into Jack's eyes and he like is breathing with me, and it just makes me so much more calm. I was like, shh. My doctor came in and I asked him, I'm like feeling a little crampy right now and it's gonna get worse in just a sec, but I asked him, the thing that he would hold my cervix in place, is that the same thing as an IUD, and is it going to be incredibly painful? And he said, well, I might not have to use that. And I was like, okay, so that is the thing. And I was like, is that incredibly painful? And he goes, no. But then after, he said, I will let you know if we have to use any tools, and it'll be over quick, basically. And he basically said, like, it's going to be painful. He was able to get the catheter in, and it was forceful. I felt it immediately as the cramping started, but I'm just glad he got that catheter in. I'm so happy he got that catheter in, because I did not want to do the clampy thing, or oh my god, that looks so painful. So feeling thankful right now. How do you feel?
It's not about me.
Jack had a good sample. We didn't tell that, but he had straight A's across the board, so.
Small contribution.
All right, we'll see you guys later. Oh, hello, my friends. It is now a few days later. I have had time to decompress from my third IUI experience, and I realized that you guys probably at this point don't have a ton of detail as to what went down or what ended up happening. I do want to preface this and say that I've had two super simple, like seamless IUIs before this. This has never happened to me. So 2 out of 3, there were no necessarily complications or anything like that. This one was just a fluke, and I have a theory as to what may have happened. But I do not want you to worry and project my experience of this third IUI onto yours whatsoever. So we pull up to the office. I'm nervous, as you guys saw me talking about, because I personally experience about 20 to 30 minutes of pretty intense cramping after, but then it's totally good and I'm literally good for the rest of the day. I'm just tired the rest of the day. I know some women that don't experience any cramping, so I envy y'all. But I know that I'm going to experience intense pain. So it's a weird thing pulling up to something that you're excited about, but also know that there's the pain on the horizon, like a guaranteed amount of pain on the horizon. But I pull up, I'm nervous, but of course, every single nurse that we have ever come across is the sweetest human on the face of this freaking planet. Y'all deserve medals. And this time, 2 nurses greet us, one that was going to perform my IUI, and the other one was in training at this specific clinic, which was fine. They both were so sweet, so nice. Jack is always allowed to come back with me, which I'm so grateful for. They bring us through everything that they usually bring us through. They walk us through the sample statistics, which were perfect. They make us sign the thing that says, yes, I am June McDingle, and this is my husband, John Schaefer, and we are indeed mixing myself with that sample. I'm gonna get pretty detailed as far as anatomy and things go, because honestly, it's like talking about my hand or my foot at this point. If I'm being completely honest, it's my second language. If that makes you comfortable, click off the video now. Just click off now. So fast forward, I'm on the table, I've got the sheet over me, the nurses come around, insert the speculum, everything is good. They're being very compassionate, very gentle. And then the next step is to get the catheter through my cervix so they can insert the sample. Something very key to note here that I almost overlooked telling you guys this right now is that the other 2 times I was under the impression that I was supposed to come with a full bladder. They told me that the first time I went in for an IUI, and the nurse that greeted me for that first IUI asked if I had a full bladder, if I should be drinking more water, and I was like, nope, I've got to pee like a racehorse. We are all set to go. So then I carried that knowledge over to the second one, and I had a full bladder for that one, and everything went smoothly as well there. I was told that the full bladder makes the procedure easier for the nurse to get in there. So this third time I show up with a full bladder, but when I'm in the room, they ask if I have to use the restroom, and I'm like, I mean, yes, I very much need to use the restroom, but I thought that I needed a full bladder, and they said, no, you actually don't. So I like ran to the bathroom and I emptied my bladder, so I was completely empty and ready to go. Fast forward to the catheter part that I'm talking about. She spends about 5 to 10 minutes trying to insert the catheter, and it just feels kind of like a pap smear. Just kind of poking around, not a very painful sensation. She says she's having trouble and she's going to get my doctor to come in because he's got the extra finesse. And I'm like, yes, please go get the doctor. I don't want to be on this table for much longer, actually. Usually the IUIs are like 15 minutes and I'm in and out of there. But then then my nurse, the nurse assigned to me, comes in, and it was so good to see her in person. I think we have literally only spoken on the phone, and she's the person that I report everything to when a cycle starts and all of that stuff. And any questions I have, I always call her. So it was actually really comforting when she came in and she was like, "Hi, June, how are you?" If you're new, my first name is June. I go by Mac because my middle name's Mackenzie and I grew up going by Mackenzie. She comes in and she goes, "Hi, June, how are you doing? I'm so sorry we were meeting over these circumstances." And I was like, I could hug you. It just felt very familiar and it felt very comforting. Not that the nurses before weren't, you get the gist. It was just very nice to see her. So then she comes around and she tries for about 5 to 10 minutes and I'm convinced that she's gonna get it. Like, she's trying 2 different catheters. One was, I guess, a little bit more flexible, and it's tough when the cervix is acting all stubborn to insert something that is flexible versus something that's a little more rigid, if that makes sense. So she's trying the flexible one, then she moves on to the rigid one and she's talking me through everything that she's trying. But then after about 5 to 10 minutes, she also can't get it. So I wouldn't say panic started setting in. I was just getting a little worried. I was like, am I going to not be able to do my 3rd IUI? Like, are we really not going to be able to get this? What is going on? And the only thing that was different between the 2 other smooth IUIs that I had done and this one was that they told me I could empty my bladder. So I, regardless of what anyone says, again, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a nurse. I'm just putting 2 and 2 together at this point. Regardless of what anyone says at this point, because of my experience, I will be showing up with a full bladder and you can't tell me different. So they tell me that my doctor is actually busy with another procedure, so it might take a few minutes, but he'll be in as soon as he's finished. But something key that the nurse told me before she left to go get my doctor is that they can't use some of the special tools that might help get the catheter through my cervix, but he can use those special tools. And she says something about keeping the cervix in place. There's a tool to keep the cervix in place. That's when panic started setting in. My mind starts spinning because there's this TikTok that lives in my head rent-free about how doctors insert IUDs. And it starts with a visual of this tool that is used to keep the cervix in place. And it's got little spiky tong things at the end of it. And they use that to grab your cervix and then insert the IUD. So I'm thinking there's no way that this tool is going to be different. That must be the tool to hold my cervix in place. And that is going to be incredibly painful. Incredibly painful. So I definitely start freaking out, and at this point I've kind of checked out, and Jack filled in the details afterwards for me because my brain was just going a million miles an hour. I was panicking. And so my doctor comes in, and he's also a very calming presence. You guys know that we love our doctor. He's extremely funny, and he's also got a very good bedside manner. So he comes in, and immediately I was like, "Doctor?" And he was like, "Yes, June, wow, how can I help you?" And I go, "They told me that this is a tool that you might use, and I want to know if that is the IUD tool and if it's going to be incredibly painful like I've seen online." And he goes, "No." He hesitated, you guys. He did. And I asked Jack after if he heard the hesitation, and he indeed did. He goes, "No." And then he kind of backtracks and he's like, "We will do everything we can to avoid putting you in any sort of pain." And I'm like, frickin' A, this is already going to be painful. Oh my gosh, how did we get here? How did we get here? This will be the 3rd person trying to get this procedure done, and I'm freaking out. So he goes in, and I feel him poking around a little bit, and he's narrating everything that he's doing. He's narrating what catheters he's trying and everything like that, and then all of a sudden I feel this very forceful push through. Not a massive cramp, but like onset of like a little bit of cramping, but like kind of quickly almost. I can't describe it, but he was through and I knew it. So I asked, "Is the catheter in?" He goes, "Yes, the catheter is in." He deposits the sample, he pulls everything out, everything is good, and I am so incredibly relieved. He was able to get it through. Took a little more force than the other nurses were doing, but he got it through. And we didn't have to use the clampy thing. We did not indeed have to use the clampy thing. So I am very relieved. So the other thing I did want to mention that happened after is that I do cramp, like I said, for about 20 to 30 minutes or so. So before any of this went down, when we were in the room with the original nurse, I asked where the nearest bathroom was, because when I'm in pain and if I feel like I have to go to the bathroom, I'm gonna want to know exactly where that is. But also I asked specifically if they needed this room at all after, or am I free to stay in there for about 30 minutes? Because as soon as the catheter goes in for me, it's a countdown at that point. And the last thing I want to want to do is move. So if I don't have to move to my car, I would like to know that. And the nurse let me know that they actually don't have any more procedures in that room that day, and I am free to just lay there for as long as I would like. And after I told her it's because of the cramps, she gave us those like popped heating pads of sorts. And I have tried heating pads before just for regular period cramps, and they usually just didn't work for me. I just didn't feel like they did anything. But oh my gosh, okay, not only did I take Tylenol an hour before the procedure like I normally do, so that was in my system, but these, I swear, helped. I was only in intense pain for I think about like 10 minutes because I was using these heating pads. They felt so good and they subsided my cramps so good. But yeah, that was my third IUI experience. Holy freaking Hannah. If you have ever had a similar experience, leave it in the comments below. I would love to know, because that was a first for me. Again, I do not want to scare anyone. Out of the 3 that I have had, 2 have been perfectly fine, and the one time I emptied my bladder, this happened. So, but anyways, my friend, I'm going to end that third IUI vlog here. I hope you all enjoyed it. If you did, and if anything resonated with you in this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button down below, because we upload videos like these every single Wednesday and Sunday, and sometimes on Monday. My heart goes out to all of the infertility warriors out there. I'm sending you all so many hugs. I love you all very much, and I will catch you in the next one, my friends. I'll see you later. Bye.